This evening, coalition supporters staged nationwide protests. New political party bemoans difficulties of funding and support. Security guards accuse employer of withholding pay. In the region, chronic petrol shortage in Venezuela brings country to a standstill. And internationally, women in Zimbabwe allege rape by security forces. Greetings to our viewers in Guyana and around the world. Today is Tuesday, February 12th, 2019, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The government of Guyana and the European Union is encouraging our nation's girls to develop an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math. George Gonzalez has more.
To mark International Science, Technology, Engineering, and Maths Day, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure and the European Union's delegation to Guyana, with support from the Ministry of Education, launched the third and final campaign to promote STEM for girls in Guyana at the Arthur Chung Convention Center on Monday, February the 11th, 2019. The event was attended by 200 persons who included representatives of some 15 secondary schools from regions 3, 4, 5, and 10. The campaign will see the release of 10 new promotional videos. For 3 consecutive years, the campaign has interviewed and interacted with women to learn more about their experiences working in a wide range of STEM-related fields. A number of the videos capture interviews with well-respected figures who strongly support the sentiment that in order to get good jobs, creative jobs, and good salaries, girls need to apply themselves more seriously to STEM subjects. The project Women in Engineering and Technology Awareness campaign, which included the 3-year #GYGirlPower campaign, was funded by the European Union as a part of the Gender Approach in the Integrated Coastal Zone Management Project. The ICZM is ongoing since 2017 and will continue up to 2021 with a budget of over 30 million euros funded by the European Union. In 2019, the campaign videos will be released over the coming weeks. The videos from the previous campaigns can also be found on Facebook or YouTube by typing in the hashtag #GYGirlPower or #STEMWorks. Channel 2 Headline News, George Gonzalez.
Thanks, George. Earlier today, the University of Guyana Senior Staff Association and the University of Guyana Workers Union held a protest at the school's Turkland campus. According to the management of the union, the protest is in response to the administration's declaration that the university has a deficit for 2018 and there is no more money to offer staff. The administration of the school has given the staff a 3% and 4% increase in November 2018. However, the unions rejected both the manner in which the increase was given and the amount of the increase. Negotiations for 2018 began on January 8, 2018 and ended on February 1st with the administration's letter stating its refusal to offer any more to the staff. For years, the administration of UG has come under fire for chronic underfunding of staff and essential services, even in the face of several tuition hikes and service fees increases over the last 2 decades. In fact, the university most recently increased student service fees across the board in 2018, which was less than a year after raising the total tuitions by 35% in 2017. The call for house-to-house registration is increasing amongst coalition supporters. On Monday, coalition supporters staged simultaneous protests in several towns across the nation. Wendell Jeffrey tells us more.
Mr. Seeperson.
Yes.
Because of the successful passage of the no-confidence motion in December, elections are constitutionally to be held in late March 2019. However, in addition to a slew of court challenges to squash that motion, the clarion calls by the government and their supporters is for there to be house-to-house registration. Yesterday, there was a number of government-backed protests in different regions of Guyana. In one instance, Coalition supporters on the west bank of Demerara turned out yesterday in front of the GCOM office in Port-Rhine.
The electoral list is fundamental to the democratic process that we call national and regional elections.
McAllister is calling for a sanitization of the voters' list. She argues that anything less than that would allow for a disenfranchisement of the Guyanese voting populace.
Unless the list is sanitized, then our people of this country will be disenfranchised. We cannot afford that.
The call, however, is not only for scrubbing the voters' lists, but also for the registration of new and young voters.
We have persons who just turned 18, persons who will soon turn 18, who must have the opportunity to exercise that democratic right. It is their right. And I think it would be an absurdity for us to go into these elections without giving our youths a chance to vote.
In Lethem, there was a similar coordinated protest. Carlton Beckles, APNU's Region 9 chairman, said that he knows for sure that the list is contaminated.
I would have found that in constituency 2, there were 306 persons registered to vote to an open address. 306 persons were down to vote at that address in one constituency. It simply means that the list is contaminated. And we are here this morning to voice our concern, to support our party that the list is contaminated, and nothing less than house-to-house registration we will go for.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, security guards accuse employer of withholding pay, and new political party bemoans difficulties of funding and support. But first, here today's foreign currency exchange rate.
For the latest in news from Guyana, the region, and beyond, visit our website, headlinenewsguyana.com.
Hello, baby. Yeah.
Knocked away from Young Huang.
Yo, why you gotta get away from the credit, buddy? I recommend that you from blah blah. Let you actually gain, but it's not you that buy back the credit when it's done. Buy back because she money from Fab 5.
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only 5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Wait. So who we putting as we Fab 5? Yours.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Listen and hear me good. It's Mashroman in Guyana, and Clearance got this big mash down sale. Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Half off night sneakers. 25% off men's short pants, jeans, jerseys, caps, and selected slippers. 25% off Kenneth Cole and Levi's. half off selected ladies' jeans, tops, dresses, rompers, loafers, sandals, sneakers. Remember, Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Yes! Clearance, mash down the price for mash! Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Hi, Sean. You buy up a lot of KFC.
Yeah. This is my lunch, 9 pieces.
With more of like 34 pieces.
34? No. Don't know because of problem since last December. Enough more coming too.
In the Caribbean Court of Justice.
No, at the National Culture Center.
What happened in there?
Link show 34 from the 1st to the 4th of March.
Tickets $2,000, $1,500 and $1,000 at KFC outlets at Regent and King Streets and Mandela Avenue and the National Cultural Center.
Welcome back. New political party discusses the difficulty of funding a party in such a politically polarized time. Here's Wendell Jeffrey with more.
We are society called bicommunal. Look at where two large ethnic groups control something like 80%, 75% of the voting population.
Former PPP Member of Parliament Dr. Henry Jeffrey was speaking at a youth forum that his party held on Sunday night at the Park Rain complex on the East Bank. The party is called A New and United Guyana, ANOG. Jeffrey was making the point that the two major parties dominate the political space in Guyana and that it is difficult to change that reality even though such a change is necessary. He said that his party is trying to use the swing voters to make a difference.
You will always have a smaller groups and people that can swing here and there to make change because they want to control 75. You still have 25. And that's the 25 keep us talking about how we can try to interject ourselves into the system.
Channel 2 Headline News asked Dr. Jeffrey if the ANOC party had ever considered uniting with any of the other new and smaller parties.
In terms of the small parties, we have been meeting some of them. There's no doubt about that. We have been Justice Think Party. Ralph, I think, has spoken to the Republican Party. But we have been meeting something, we are talking. But people have their own way of doing things.
Channel 2 Headline News also asked about how the ANOC party will be funded, given the tens of millions of dollars needed to get their messages out.
In terms of financing, to be truthful, we are looking for financing. We are financing all this crap ourselves, and I'll tell you, you are right about that.
Dr. Jeffrey said that while they are personally funding the initial startup of the party, they are actively seeking funding, and they are hoping that those who promised financial assistance will deliver on their promise.
Political party financing don't come from the individual, come from people out there, and we are attempting to go there. We have had promises, and hopefully those promises will come true.
The veteran politician told Channel 2 Headline News that the party founder members cannot keep spending their own monies to support the new party.
There's no way we can continue financing all this thing by ourselves.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, has announced that the vaccine for the human papillomavirus, or HPV, is now extended to 16-year-old boys and girls equally. The nationwide campaign will be from the 11th of February to the 13th of March 2019. The vaccine can be obtained from a school healthcare worker, health centers, private hospitals, and the vaccination center of the Ministry of Public Health, Brickdam. For further information, please contact the Maternal and Child Health Department, Ministry of Public Health, on telephone numbers 223-7429. Security guards at a local school are claiming that despite having been on the job for months, they haven't been paid once by their employer. Esther Sobers spoke to two of the aggravated employees and filed this report.
After working several months with a security firm, two female employees are still awaiting their salary. Leslie Norton and her sister Lovie Norton were employed by Titanium Security Services. The two women, who mostly worked on the night shift at the Sophia Nursery School, said that from the day they were employed, they have never been paid.
And every time I call he always telling me, not today, tomorrow, and ministry this, ministry policy check yet, and a whole set of things, girl, a whole set of promises. So I think it's time now, because after yesterday I talked concerning about it to the boy. Say I ain't able to work anymore, because me ain't able with this. Even if I get half of my money, I gonna go, because I work too hard for walk away and left all my money.
How many persons, do you know any persons have not been paid?
I get to understand, they said he get all in nursery school. Enterprise, Seafield Nursery, Afield Nursery, a lot of nursery around the place. But as for me,
just Afield.
I know about Afield alone. I know we never get no money, no money at all.
Leslyn is a single mother of 4 who continued to work despite not being paid for the past 5 months. She said that she was promised a salary of 65,000 Guyana dollars per month, meaning to date over 300,000 Guyana dollars is owed to her. As her money woes continued, the single mother is now left in deep debt and the uncertainty of the future of her child's education.
It's really hard. I have a big child that writes in CXC. She can't get right in CXC because no money. She got a lot of assignment and all this stuff to do, no money. So in this case, and plus I is a single parent, I is not for me. I don't have no family and there is no help for me. The only help is the employee to pay me my money, and that is it.
Leslyn's sister Lovie noted that they opted to visit the Guyana Labor Department for their intervention. A meeting was scheduled for today with their employee, Mark Gulta, who failed to make an appearance. Nonetheless, the Labor Department plans to pursue this matter. Meanwhile, Headline News made a visit to the Sophia Nursery School, which contracted Titanium Security Firm. There, we learned that the other security officers were not paid. This has caused the security officer on the morning shift to not attend work, and a new firm is likely to be contracted to guard the school. To seek answers pertaining to the officers' salaries, Headline News contacted the security firm representative, Sean Andre.
They were supposed to be paid in December. I don't know what went on with accounting, but I know that they're going to be paid because the thing is, since you're calling, I'm going to say that we have movement of contracts with the ministry where we won't be dealing with provision of security services anymore as far as we know. So we'll have to clear everyone off before that agreement to be finalized. It's actually quite final, in most cases. So we have to clear everybody off.
Andre noted that employees will be paid on Friday the 15th of February. Headline News will keep you updated on this story as details arise. For Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, chronic petrol shortages in Venezuela brings country to a standstill, and woman in Zimbabwe alleges rape by security forces. But before that, here's this week's Spirit Retraction schedule.
What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at ACCUSE. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Listen and hear me good. It's Mashomani in Guyana, and Clearance got this big mash down sale. Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Half off Nike sneakers, 25% off men's short pants, jeans, jerseys, caps, and selected slippers. 25% off Kenneth Cole and Levi's. Half off selected ladies' jeans, tops, dresses, rompers, loafers, sandals, sneakers. Remember, Thursday the 24th and Friday the 22nd of February. Yes! Clearance mash down the price for mash! Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Hi, Sean. You buy up a lot of KFC.
Yeah. This is my lunch, 9 pieces.
With all of my 34 pieces.
34? No. Don't know because of problems since last December. Enough more coming too.
In the Caribbean Court of Justice.
No, at the National Culture Center.
What happened in there?
Link show 34 from the 1st to the 4th of March.
Tickets $2,000, $1,500 and $1,000 at KFC outlets at Regent and King Streets and Mandela Avenue and the National Cultural Center.
Switch over to GTT right now, no. Because all this time and money I waste on a car alone can just send up my blood pressure.
You've come to the right place. Really? Once you're switched over with our network, you can activate our Fab 5 plan. With our Fab 5 plan, you can enjoy free unlimited calls with 4 family and friends.
You got to be kidding me.
You will also get 5 gigabytes of data with 250 text messages.
You got to be kidding me.
And your chosen 4 can also call you for free.
You got to be kidding me.
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only $5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Welcome back. We now take a look at news from the region. Venezuela may have the world's biggest oil reserves, but the common practice of smuggling supplies across the neighboring Colombia, where it sells for many times more, has triggered a massive shortage internally. And what's more, the country's oil production has slowed to a trickle, so it must now import fuel. But getting around the latest U.S. economic sanctions is providing difficulties. Al Jazeera's Lucian Newman has more from the border city of San Cristobal.
A seemingly endless petrol queue in San Cristobal, one of dozens that goes on and on. More than 200 cars until we lose count, all waiting and praying that they'll be able to fill up before the pump runs dry. People sleep in their vehicles, like Luis Hevia, who's been in the queue for 3 days.
Look, here we are suffering. We haven't eaten. We smell like monkeys and all these people jumping the queue. How do they expect this country to function? We need support.
In the country with the world's largest oil reserves, scarcity of petrol isn't new, especially here in Táchira, which shares a border with neighboring Colombia.
This has been happening for at least 3 years, but every day it's worse.
The list of reasons is long. With hyperinflation surpassing 1,000,000%, petrol is practically free.
This bill is worthless, and if people don't have change, they don't have to pay at all.
And this has been feeding a widespread smuggling racket. Vehicles like this one have not one but two fuel tanks that can hold more than 200 liters of the world's cheapest petrol, much of which makes its way across the border into Colombia. It is a black market, a lucrative business that's controlled by Colombian paramilitary and left-wing guerrilla groups. But it's an open secret that it would be impossible without the participation of Venezuela's armed forces and police, who are supposed to patrol the border. Freddy Bernal, whom the government has appointed as the de facto state governor, concedes that a parallel economy has been created along the border.
Because the price difference between Colombia and Venezuela is too large. Here, 20 liters cost 20 bolívares. You cross the border, and that same container costs 1 million. The profit is extraordinary, unimaginable for these mafias.
He says authorities are cracking down on corrupt officials, although locals insist it hasn't made a dent. 6 months ago, President Nicolás Maduro had promised to raise prices to make smuggling less attractive, but still hasn't done so. And there's another problem. Venezuela's state oil company is producing only a fraction of what it used to, and must import petrol. That's now even harder because of new U.S. economic sanctions. In the meantime, ever-resourceful residents of Táchira have introduced a new service for those who can afford it: paying for someone to take your place to spend the night in the queue. Lucia Newman, San Cristobal, Venezuela.
And in international news, armed conflict in Zimbabwe has led the government to engage in a severe crackdown on rebel forces. Now, in the wake of these operations, women in some of the targeted villages are now accusing the military forces of various forms of sexual violence against them.
Many of the women who say they were raped by uniformed men last month are still in hiding. Their safe houses are being hunted by police, but despite the risks, alleged victims are coming forward to tell their stories.
On the 15th of January, there were 5 of them. They had black masks on. We couldn't see their faces, only their eyes. They were in army uniforms. One of them raped me without using any protection.
They came into my house on January 18th. They told me they were looking for members of the opposition, those that were hurling stones in the streets. They asked me where my boyfriend was. They wanted to rape my 13-year-old daughter, but I pleaded with them to take me instead. They held a knife to my daughter's throat. There were 3 men in uniform, 1 policeman, and another in civilian clothes, masked.
The day we met this young mother, she tested positive for HIV. Doctors have advised her not to breastfeed. These women still live in fear after a brutal crackdown on street protests in January. Security forces face a growing list of alleged abuses. Claims include murder, rape, beatings, torture and abductions.
I think what we are actually seeing in terms of the nature of the violations and the pattern, it's more like instilling terror in the communities, such that even now, the aftermath, if you go to those communities which were affected, the moment people see army officers in uniform, they are terrified.
The government's blamed the violence on rogue elements and says it can only deal with rape charges that have been officially reported.
Punishment will come to the perpetrators of violence, perpetrators of rape, perpetrators of looting, and all those crimes.
This crackdown has tarnished the image of President Mnangagwa. His response towards the military's brutality suggests that he continues to rely heavily on the army that put him in power.
Here's the 3-day weather forecast. that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and Wednesday evening at 7 for more news. For now, I am Bibi Baka signing out from your newscast. Thank you for staying tuned and to have a blessed evening.